Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to this special episode of summer games that you can take on the road with you while traveling that are both either solo, compact, or easy to get into. And I just picked a couple of newer ones. I mean, you could go back through history and find some other great ones that you can take with you, but these are some more recent ones. And what spawned this for me is I was playing through this game, really neat little game called The Dead Eye that I got. It's purely a solo-based card game. What's really neat about it, and of course you can't see it, but it's because it's through 3D glasses and everything. It's really neat. The cards are all 3D, and it's a solo-only game, and it's pretty quick to play. The whole game itself would be pretty long, but it's pretty quick to play by itself, and it's so compact. I mean, this is the entire size of the box. You see my hand there. It can easily be thrown into luggage, etc., etc. Anyway, I was just wrapping this up, and I was thinking to myself, you know, if I was to take a trip, which, you know, we're all starting to take trips during the summer, is this a game, or are there some other games I might bring along with me that are quick? Something if I'm just sitting in the evening, we're chilling, we're relaxing, maybe we don't want to be going out that one night, we're tired or whatever, something to do. And so this is what I came up with. I'm going to talk about a few games. One of them is not even going to be a board game, which is going to be really interesting, but I'll talk about that in a moment. However, I did want to talk about the Deadeye, and I'm going to go over, you can see I had a game in progress right here. I'm going to stop this game because I wasn't going to, I don't think I was going to win this scenario. I was getting pretty close. But, and I'll teach you a little bit about how it works, and we'll go over this game, and then we'll go over some other ones. I don't know how in-depth, I don't want to make these like a tutorial or rules scenario rules type thing, but this is one of the solo games that I think you could easily bring with you and enjoy on a trip or vacation, or just, you know, on a day where it's something you want to do and just you're out on a vacation time or something. You know, you get the idea. Anyway, let's take a look a little bit more about how the Dead Eye works. First off, you got to remember when you're playing, you have to wear your 3D glasses. Super cool. Works really well, by the way. 3D is amazing, yet every card is legible, and I think what they did there was very clever. But let's talk about it a little more depth. So here I have the game basically set up to get ready to play. And in the game, The Dead Eye, you were playing like someone who's racing across this alien, terrible wasteland, trying to get to some destinations. Those destinations are safe havens. And it says, buckle up your rat suit, fire up the rig, beware the tox. Yeah, and that's basically if you were to summarize it, that's really it in a nutshell. Again, this is a solo-based board card game, really a card game, where you're trying to get to your safe havens over the course of basically 4 parts of the adventure, and they can be a little long, so it's like you might play one and save it. You can just do one run, is what they call it. Save that run, you got to your safe haven, then go again. And so you got this little board out here, and the board is basically going to track your progress. Now you have a couple decks of cards. You have strength cards, which are right here. And on this handy dandy sheet, you can see some of the things. You got also hope cards right here. Now in a typical run, you're going to have 5 of each of these stacked up. And there's more in the game. There's a bunch more. And you may add a few more to this, or you may remove a few more. But in a typical run, you're going to have 5 of each. And you're trying to get to these destinations. Now, the order of the turn is really straightforward. It says right here how you play. So we're just going to put that out there for the moment. The first thing that you're going to do is unlock a destination. Well, you're going to look on here. This is in the first batch. It's the first one, so that's the right thing to do. And it says, I'm not going to read all these, but it says, Sol Flare could mean only one thing. Captain misjudged the suck. Okay, I don't know what that means exactly, but it sounds cool. Anyway, you can unlock this with 0 distance, and distance is what you're trying to do. You're trying to travel a certain distance to get to your safe haven location. So as you can see, when you start the game, the first card you actually have available to you. Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this out there. Now, we can't get to this wreck yet. We need to travel 2 distance to get there. And as you can see, for the next card, we need to travel greater than 2 distance to get to it and unlock that card, but we can't do anything. So we're just going to put this up here for now, and that is our unlock destination step. Now the next step is to face an encounter. It says fill the encounter slot with a card from the draw deck or the available destinations. Well, we know we can't do that. It's not available yet because we don't have the distance to get there. We haven't driven far enough yet. So we're going to take our deck, we're going to flip over the first card. That's a refinery. Okay, now we have a choice to make. We can evade that card, which means we're going to place it down. In this case, it's juice, so we'll place it on this side. Or we can attempt to achieve that goal, which is a distance of 3. You can see there. Now, this is probably a good one to take a chance on because there's no real negative consequence to that, right? So we could say, we're going to go for it. Now, the problem is you got to get 2 juice and you can only fail once. So if we fail once, we're in a bad place. But the next card we draw, we're going to draw. Okay, now you get to the press your luck part in trying to face an encounter. So you draw your card, you go back. Okay, in doing that, did we unlock any destinations? We did not. Then we look again. Okay, we have an encounter we're facing. Did we resolve that encounter? Meaning, did we fail or succeed? We have not. So now we can press our luck and play again. Now this goes faster as you get to go. You don't have to really go through each step in your mind like that. Every time you can kind of glance at the board. We're going to draw our next card, and it's going to be a juice. So we're going to place that right here. Now, that means that we're 1 away from succeeding at this task. The thing with these multi-use cards is the rest of this doesn't matter. So you got to weigh this out. Is this something you would have wanted to chase down? Won't matter at this point because we're already chasing this one down. So all we care about is that juice symbol right there. Now, we go back through the same process again. Did we unlock a destination? Do we need to face a new encounter? Have we resolved an outcome? We have not. So we're going to draw another card. Oh, okay, that's bad for us. That is heat. Heat is bad. We're trying to keep our heat down and our juice high, right? Juice is like fueling us to get to the next location. So now let's take a look at, now we played our card. We don't have a choice there. So we played our card. We don't unlock a destination. We still have an encounter. Have we resolved this encounter? We have. As you can see, we have gotten the amount of heat that we need to fail this adventure. So what happens now? Once we've failed the destination, we're going to have a good outcome or a bad outcome. We've had a bad outcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to do whatever it says here. So that's going to go away, but it says, you see this little, the heat symbol with the little arrow, that means we're going to, I believe it's called postpone the card, which means we're going to take the card and put it on the bottom of our draw deck. So now we know the bottom, it's kind of a memory game too. Now we know the bottom of our draw deck is heat. This will stay out. We didn't do that in. It's still out there, ready to go for us if we need it. Probably will. Now we go back to the process again. Did we unlock a destination? We did not, because we did not make the travel distance. Do we need to face a new encounter? We do. We can't face this yet, so we will draw another one. It's called Vidge, and you can see this one has a 50-50 chance, but I like this because it means that if we succeed, we're going to put both the juice we succeed with on the bottom of our deck. We're going to postpone those. And then we're going to get this as an item. That's what that little symbol means. It means we're going to take what we found there. So in this Vidge, it says, they only hurt bad people. To them, you are bad people. So we're going to get this little device here that says use grip to postpone juice. So we can postpone juice by using that card. So yeah, okay, let's go for it. First off, it might get one of those out of our deck a little bit. We already we're already majority way there. We just need to get one good card. Okay, so we're going to face the new encounter. Then we're going to resolve the outcome. Look at that. We got some more juice. So boom, we succeeded. Okay, so we look at this side. We don't have any heat. This is a great scenario for us. Now, if we had failed this, remember I told you we have 5 strength, 5 hope cards. Hope cards are really powerful. If we had failed this, we would have taken one of the hope cards and we actually would have put it in our discard pile. However, the problem with that, there's only 5 of each, and if you run out of either of these piles and can't draw, you lose that run. Okay, and consequently the game. So first off, we can't unlock the destination. We have an encounter. We're going to resolve it. We had a good outcome. So what does this mean? Well, we can see that we're going to postpone both of these cards, put them on the bottom. That's pretty cool, right? And we're going to get to take this as a item. Now it comes in unusable, so position this way, and then when we get to rest, which is a special card in our deck, we will get to flip that up and it will become useful to us at that point. So we look around here again, we go, well, there's nothing going on there, so we'll just continue on our path. We'll draw another card and see what we got going. We still haven't made our destination, but here's another one. It's +2. Let's take a look at this. Now this is a bad card. We don't want to fail this one, but we were going to give it a go, right? Why not? So we look at the next one. Again, we go through the same process. Can we unlock it? Face new encounter? Nope. We're going to face the encounter. Boom. We're halfway there. That's fantastic. Now, go through the same process again. Uh-oh, we got the rest card. Now this isn't bad for us. This doesn't hurt us in any way. But it says we're going to activate all our parts. So we get to take this, and now we can use this to postpone juice when it should be discarded. So that's a good thing. Now the other thing you can do, it says, unless your draw deck is empty, you may instead lose hope to postpone this event. So you could postpone this event by losing a little hope. We're not going to do that for the purposes of demonstration. It's just going to go in our discard pile. And then we're going to get ready to draw another card. I don't want to show you this one. That's the bad card. I'll show that in a minute. So let's see. We're going to get that one. Oh, that's bad. So we're going to put that here. Now we got some heat on this encounter that we're trying to do. We're trying to follow these tracks, right? So we're going to go again. Now we're a 50-50 chance of succeeding. Are we going to succeed? I don't know the answer. We go, oh, hey, we did. Okay, good deal. So we got the 2 juice. Here we are. 2 juice means we're going to do what again? Now this means distance, right? I want to make sure we displayed this. So we're going to follow this. Now this means the top card is going to get discarded, but I can be pretty tricky and use my grip to postpone that juice. I'll tap that out again. Instead of losing this one, we're going to put it on the bottom. Now I know I have 3 juice cards on the bottom of this deck, 4 juice cards because the other thing says to postpone the card, and then we get to add this to our destination. Okay, so we used it, and then this one stays because we didn't have the negative outcome, so we got some heat still on us, right? Now, the question is, did we succeed at this? We did not, but we have succeeded at this. So now when I pick a new encounter, I can pick this one. Why wouldn't I? It's all good stuff, right? Well, but the question is, are we going to get so much heat built up here we can't complete anything else? That is possible, but let's just say for the sake of argument that we do that. We go, uh-oh, more heat on us, right? But we're trying to get this accomplished. Uh-oh, more heat on us. Well, there's no failure effect, so we just keep going. And then we get the tox. So we can lose the strength. Well, that's bad. So we're going to lose the strength. That means this card's going in here. Now, tox cards are always heat, and they may have some, and you notice they don't, like this one's really bad, this tomb. No special abilities at all, these strength cards, rather. And then the tox would just go in the discard. We can also, again, postpone that. You can lose strength unless your draw deck is empty, which it isn't. You may instead lose juice to postpone this event. We're not doing that. So we look at our stuff again. Okay, we're continuing on. Oh my gosh, look at this. So whatever we do next, we're going to fail. And then it keeps on going, oh man, but we haven't failed this yet. And then we know that the rest of these are going to succeed because we stacked the deck that way. I just didn't plan for this, right? So here we are. Both of these go in our discard pile. That's not good, but we do get the map. And remember, it comes in not ready. All of these are still out here, so we know pretty much whatever we do, this one is going to fail. So we can evade until we find one that doesn't give us a bad outcome like this one. So I go, oh, I don't want that, so I'm going to evade it. That means it's going to go here. That's not terrible. And then I go, what's the next one? Okay, I'm going to play that because I can, and all I'm going to lose is we're going to discard all this. It won't be out of our discard, our hand. Then we'll reshuffle our hand. But all we're going to do is postpone this card to the bottom of our deck. This one will stay out and give us an advantage. So you kind of get the idea how it goes. Now, once you've unlocked, I think it's the third one, you get to the third one, you get your safe haven. So we get to our first safe haven at this point. And that way that marks on our sat map, we would then get to the one spot. And that's basically how the game goes. Again, this isn't meant to be instructional. I'll just give you an idea. Great solo game to take with you because it runs pretty fast. You can track it. There's baggies. You can put all your setup in the baggies so you don't have to worry about remembering what you did. You can just save the game in that state, put it back in the box. You're good to go. And by the way, I didn't say this, and I'll say this at the end of each one. This game was done by Pleasant Company Games, and it was designed by Van Zyl and McGregor. And it's a cute little game with the 3D aspect. And really, the 3D does work really well. Anyway, that is the Dead Eye. That's the first of the games I'm going to talk about in this little episode. Next up, I want to talk about Under Falling Skies from Czech Games Edition. This is another solo-only game, and this one's really fun. It reminds me of Space Invaders a lot. It's got some really great mechanics. You can play through a campaign. That's pretty slick. And if you want to see this, you can go into, I have a playthrough of this already in the game, so in my playlists. So I'm not going to go over all the details like I did with the Dead Eye. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but we'll go to the back of the box and kind of show you and talk you through this. It does take a little bit of table space, but not enough to worry about if you're, like, you could easily figure out how to get this into a hotel room table or on a table at a place you're staying, or even on a dining room table in the dining room if you're at a hotel. But you could certainly get this into a manageable space. And basically, it's kind of like, again, a press your luck game where you're also base building. The alien ship is going to continue to come down, and other ships is going to launch fighters towards your base. Your base is going to take place in different cities. It can take damage, and you got to build up technology and science to unlock more things and launch the things that you need to be able to get to win the game. Now, when you unlock the science track up, then that's how you win. You've discovered the big bad weapon that's going to take out the alien mothership that's coming down and save humanity. It's a really fun game. Again, it is a solo game, and unlike the Deadeye, I went into some detail because I've never played it on my channel or even had it looked at on my channel. So I just thought I'd go in a little bit into detail. It's probably the only one I'm going to go into that level of detail on this. So what do I think of Under Falling Skies as a game, though? I think it's a really fun game. And again, 20 to 40 minutes, not really that big a deal, right? You can sit down and play that while you're just chilling out in front of the TV or something. Maybe you don't want to watch TV that night, so you're on your vacation spot, you're watching the waves roll up on the sand, on the deck of the beach house that you're at, or up in the mountains in the cabin watching the birds in the trees and all that stuff, and you just want to get something to stimulate your brain. Here you go. Under Falling Skies is a really fun game, and there's lots of playthroughs out there, so I'm not going to get into the playthroughs. But again, a solo game, it's kind of beefier than, like, I'll give you an example. It's a bit beefier box-wise, and it's kind of heavy. A bit beefier than the Deadeye, but again, a lot of game packed in here. So, if you can find some space in your suitcase, this is kind of like a bigger box. Still not a normal game box size box. It's still smaller, but it packs quite a bit of game in it and can keep you entertained for quite a long time, especially if you're playing through the campaign that is in the game, where you can go to, you're taking on different cities. I don't know how the story evolves. I haven't done the campaign yet. I plan to, but I was debating on whether or not I just want to play it myself or do it on the channel. And when I do a campaign that's going to spoil the game, I like to wait until I know that enough people who might be watching have played through that themselves and really are just having some great commentary about the game itself. Okay, so Under Falling Skies, that's another good one. And again, these are pretty recent releases. I'm not going back into the archives for simple things like Solitaire, but I think you get the idea. So Under Falling Skies, again, fills a niche. It feels like Space Invaders, feels kind of like the video game. It's pretty fun, and it's solo only. So those are the two solo games that I'm going to talk about in this video. Again, if you want to see a playthrough of Under Falling Skies, you can see that on my channel, plus some others. Paul Grogan, if you look him up, he did a really good series on this game. I really enjoyed watching it, so that's another place to go. And again, great game. Really fun solo game that you can take with you on trips, created by Thomas Euler. I'm probably going to botch names up on this, and is published by Czech Edition Games. Again, it's a solo-only game, ages 12 and up, about 20 to 40 minutes. That's pretty good. Whereas, just to give you an example, again, solo-only, 14 plus, 15 minutes to play a game of the Deadeye. A single game, but if you're playing the whole session, it's going to be quite a bit longer than that. And those two are the two solo games that I think you could really enjoy taking with you on a vacation. They won't take up too much space in your luggage and that sort of thing, and give you some space to play. Now, you wouldn't be able to play this on a plane, or none of these you would be able to play like on a plane or something like that. But definitely when you reach your destination. Well, there's one you might be able to play on a plane. We're going to look at that one next. Okay, I found this game to be great fun. It's by WizKids. It's called Super Skill Pinball 4 Arcade, and it's a it's a roll and write game, which is a genre of game that's become pretty popular. And basically, it emulates pinball. So we're going to take a look at the back of the game first. I don't remember if I played this on my channel or not, but I definitely played it with my family a couple of times. And I will bring this on a vacation with me, because you can play it by yourself and it's a lot of fun, or you can play it with up to 4 players and it's still a lot of fun. So, but essentially what you're doing is you have this pinball board, and I'll open this one up a little bit. Like I said, there wasn't, opening up Falling Skies, you have to show quite a bit, but it gives you a quick start guide here, how you set up your boards if you're playing multiple players, and it comes with some nice, here's the basic board right here, the carnival board, and you would basically set it up like so, and now you got your score tracker, and then you have the board, and you're going to be rolling dice to have your pinballs bounce all over this board and keep it up in the game as much as score as many points as you can. Now, when it falls through, that round's going to be over for that player. But other players may still be going through that first round for quite some time if they can keep the ball popping around. And each of the boards is very different and brings in different mechanics and how you get the ball around the board. And again, I played this with family. It's so simple. I mean, you roll 2 dice, and you take actions based on those 2 dice available and where you're at and what you've already covered up. And these are all made with a material that can work with a dry erase marker, for which you get a bunch of, and enough for 4 people. It's got the eraser on one end, the marker on the other. It's got 2 dice, everything you need, and it's got these half pinballs that you can put on the board that are going to bounce around all the boards. And again, there's multiple boards, multiple games that you can play. Really cleverly done game. There's this disc, and again, each one is really different. So like you can play this one. This is the Cyber one, and it has completely different mechanics on each of the boards. It's really slick the way they did it. You got the Disco Fever. You got where's the Fantasy one? I thought was really fun, but you get the idea there. So super skill pinball. The other thing, the reason I like this is a multiplayer game for the family on a vacation, as it's so easy, unbelievably easy to teach. I mean, if you have to spend more than 5 minutes explaining this, there's something wrong with you. Okay, so, or the people you're trying to explain it to, I don't know which. But this is a great one for the family if you're on vacation. It's a smaller box. Again, I'll compare it to the box for Deadeye. Pretty small. There's my hand. You can see that it's not a big box. You could squeeze it into space. Now, I'm not recommending you take all of these. I'm just giving you some ideas for what to take on a vacation with you, and this is definitely a good one. And again, I'm playing on more recent games. There are some older ones that you might like better. By all means, mention them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and see what solo and family games, small box games you like to take on your vacations with you as you travel. So next up is this series, the Teeny Tiny Epic Games series. The most recent one I've gotten is Pirates, and it's, again, look at and comparing it to the other boxes, it's incredibly small, but this is a heavy game. These are heavy games in small boxes, right? And I'm not going to open up the game on this, but Gameland Games has been producing these games for a while, and so what the point of them is that they're compact but they're epic. So there's a lot of gameplay in here. You can see that it shows entry. It's supposed to have an easy entry. I think this one does, because it's basically mostly a pick up and deliver type game with pirate ships, and you lay out this board. It does require a lot more space than the other games I just mentioned to you. Super Pinball for arcade, or 4K rather, can take up a lot of space if you're playing 4 players. But this is not, I think there was a solo variant in this, but this is really more for you to play with your family. I would say you can bring a couple of the teeny tiny whatever epic game series with you on vacation. There's a lot of them that I've had in the past that, I mean, some of them are much easier to get into and play a shorter period than this one. This one, for example, is going to be, well, it says 30 to 60 minutes. That's probably closer to 60 minutes, just to be fair. And it does have a solo variant, so you can play it by yourself. But like I said, this one requires more space because you lay out this big map, ocean map of islands. And like a lot of the games like this, they require more space than one of the other games I just talked about. But again, it's a great addition because it's a really cool game, and it's easy enough to teach, where even like if it was a grandparent or something, you could probably sit down and teach it in a very short period of time. Anyone in that series is going to be good for you. I try to think of some of the other ones that I really like. I have a hard time picking a favorite of these because they're a lot of fun. But again, they're misleading because while the box looks small, the games are usually not that small. And there's usually a packed content, and some of them are more complicated than others. But overall, they're really great little games to play. So I would say the Epic Pirates one is great, but there's all the other ones on the list that you could pick from that would fit the same thing and also fit in your luggage quite well, because as you can see, it's not a very big box. So that's that one. Now I got one more thing I want to show you. This is just a short video, a couple things I might bring on my vacation right now, and maybe you would too, but this is a different one. This is going to be a twist, and one of the cool things about this is it has a spin on something that's a bit of a role-playing game that I really like. Now this one, this is a bit of a departure. This is not a board game, but certainly something you could get into with all your family because they already have what they need to play it, which is this box, which as you can tell is very small, and a phone, a smartphone, which most everybody has. Even your grandparents might have that. It's hard to say. But the point to Alice is Missing is you're going to play it silently, and the rule book is kind of beefy, so you got to go. But it's like big print and stuff, and it teaches you how to play the game. It's pretty straightforward. And you have a set of cards that you're going to do to play through this. Now, I haven't actually used my copy of this. I played it with other people, but my copy is pristine. I haven't actually cranked it open. But the cool thing is the whole thing takes place via text messages, and you're trying to find out and build this narrative around what happened to Alice. And so it's a pretty interesting thing. It can be rather long, so it's like something where, hey, let's all sit around. We got nothing to do tonight. Or maybe we're waiting. We're going to dinner. When we come back, we got like several hours of nothing. So we'll play this out. And no, everybody can do their own thing and just keep responding to it. It's pretty cool. Very clever game. And it's a role-playing game. So this is kind of, like I said, a break from the board gaming stuff. But it could also be taken with you on vacation and played for while you're out. And here's another cool thing about it. Let's say you're bored one night and you got some friends that aren't with you on your vacation, but you want to do something with them and play a game. This is a great option because it's handled mainly via text messaging. You can play just about. Now it's really designed to be played like kind of around the table, but silently through the text messages, where you're building the narrative for your character on how you're responding to the other characters. And there's rules around it. There's cards that you use to build that narrative with and things like that. I'm not going to, again, not a tutorial. I'm just giving you some ideas of things you could bring on vacations. And this is definitely one of them. So it's interesting. Now, it doesn't take up space, and that's the main thing I'm thinking about when you go on vacation. How could you bring a little role-playing game with you for you and your family? Maybe your family's into role-playing games and like role-playing games, and you want to do that. Well, that's great. This isn't a great option for you. Now, there are tons and tons of other games. Please, like I said, if you want to share the one you like the most, please put it into the comments and share the games that you like to bring on your vacation that are small box games. I was just wanting to do this to kind of spur you along, give you some ideas as we approach summer, where you may want to have some of these types of games on hand for when you travel. And there's all kinds of other games I could think of that fill this niche, but these are relatively newer in my collection at least. And give me some options when I'm traveling. I will probably take at least one of these with me on a trip, for example. Maybe not this one, because that one needs some planning, I think. You need to have the right audience. Like, I don't think me and my kids might be the right audience for this right now. But definitely Super Skill, Pinball, Forcade, Epic Pirates, and Falling Skill. Well, the other two are solo. But those ones would be good for the family. And like I said, this is a really cool option if you got some time. Because this is not going to happen fast. It's like we got a night to burn. Let's just chill out and have some fun doing this. Anyway, those are a couple of my ideas. So I just wanted to share that with you. I might do more on this series if people are interested in it, and bring in some more games that fit this type of easy to pack, easy to transport games that you can bring with you on a vacation. Like another one I thought of is the original, not the new one, but the original Burgle Brothers is another one that's good on a vacation for a multiplayer game, for example. Small box. Anyone in this series fits that category for sure. But like I said, some are more complicated than others. They may not be as easy to teach. But still, none of them are that complicated. You can figure it out. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Thanks for your subscriptions and your likes. I hope you enjoyed this little. I know I went into a little bit more detail on the Deadeye than the other games, but that's because I've already showed the other games and there's plenty of stuff on those. I haven't seen much on the Deadeye out there in the world. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Again, please let me know your thoughts on what games you'd like to take on vacation, or you do take on vacation with you. I'd love to hear it, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.